book 3 listing appointments and bring in 1 listing. Number 5, we're going to take a break here in a couple of minutes. Okay? After you start building the appointments, you need to then master the listing presentation. And there's an acronym I came up for the listing presentation a number of years ago that goes like this: LISTING. If you can spell it, you can sell it. Now beside this, I want you to write this for me, please. Let the process handle it, not you. Stop winging it on these appointments and think that you are so strong that you're going to just go in, and if you can't dazzle them with your brilliance, you will baffle them with a punch of, and I know you would never do that. But the point is this: everything has a system. Let the system handle it. Real estate sales has been full service. Real estate's been around now for over 110 years. I think ours is 112 years old now or something. Sales has been around. It's the oldest profession in the world. And I get people say to me all the time, hold on, it's not the oldest profession in the world. And I'll say, yes it is. And they'll say, no it's not. I say, yes it is. I always ask them this question: which came first, the sale or the fulfillment of the contract? Am I right or wrong? So it's the oldest profession in the world. Which means that anything that's been around that long, it must be proven, it must help others by doing it, and there must be a step-by-step process. Become good at the process. Don't wing it. How would you feel this? You go in and your husband's getting a heart transplant. And you go up and you say to the doctor, hey doc, what are you doing? He says, listen man, don't worry about this. We do this stuff every day. Just leave it to me. Okay? And you say, hold on here for a second. And he looks at you and says, don't worry about it. He's going to be fine. And if he's not going to know anyhow. You with me? Or will a good doctor say this: step 1, we do this. Step 2, we do this. Step 3, we do this. Step 4, step 5. At the end, they'll come out and they'll be, am I right or wrong? Why do they do that? It's to put your mind at what? That they know what they are doing. Okay? So what do each of these steps stand for? Well, the L stands for your lead-in. The L stands for your lead-in step. I like to call that your introduction stage. The I is your investigate. I like to call that your client qualifier. Now, beside the word client qualifier, I want you to write this: that if they don't have a problem, they don't need you. The greatest realtors in the world have the ability to dig out a problem. If they can't dig out a problem, they create a problem. The S is your show and sell, using a pre-planned, in the can listing presentation done on a laptop or on your iPad. Okay? You need to have a listing presentation on your laptop or on your iPad. Now, research tells us that if you take 2 realtors in a single marketplace that have equal name recognition, you take one that goes in with a listing presentation and one that goes in old school and wings it. The one with the listing presentation gets it 92% of the time. Question is, why? Because statistics are only good if they bring us to an end result why we need to do this. If not, they mean nothing. Well, here's the answer to that. Because the public's perception is you're on the cutting edge. When you pull out a laptop, you show them a step-by-step process, shows them that you're organized, you're on the cutting edge, and that you are not just jamming a sign up like so many others and waiting, doing the hope and pray method. The T is your tie down. And in the perfect world, this is where they would close. This is where you get the singing. But today we're dealing with a far higher educated population than we ever have before. Which means that at the tie-down stage, this is where they're going to start hitting us with objections. And when they start hitting us with objections, you go to your investigative stage. And beside the investigative stage here, you use your who's, your what's, your where's, your why's, and your how's, which are called open-ended questions. The reason you use open-ended questions is you cannot answer an open-ended question with a one-word answer. And then you negotiate and close and get your SIGI. Now, each of these steps can be broken down even further. For example, let's take the lead-in step. Before you go on the appointment, the first thing you always do is you build that mental attitude. Turn your stuff off in your office, turn your cell phones off, tell the people at the front office that you're not to be disturbed, and you start thinking positive thoughts. We can put men and women on the moon, we can send missiles around the world. The one thing we still haven't figured out is the power of the mind. But I can tell you this, if you can believe, you will achieve. So no matter what's going on in your life, you've got to take all the negative crap, put it in a desk drawer, close the door, and know this, that if you take negative crap and add financial problems to it, it becomes a big, 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 big problem in your life. Am I right or wrong? But if you take negative crap and add that you've got lots of money, generally money will buy you time to clean up that negative stuff in your life. Is that fair to say? For example, your spouse ever giving you a hard time? Just throw enough money to get a big screen. He ain't going to bother you now for a couple of months. Am I right or wrong? Now you go out, honey, get dolled up, put all that great stuff on, just keep bringing home the stuff. Am I right or wrong? So all the negative stuff goes. But it's when we go out and we don't make any what? That problem starts to come. So turn that negative stuff off. Start focusing on a positive mental attitude. Always dress like $1 million. Like Margaret Thatcher says in her books, that she would decide within 3 minutes whether she would do business with a man or not. You park across based on his appearance. You park across the street from the house always. Why? Because you're neither friend nor family member right now. You're a professional. Friends and family park in driveways. Professionals don't. Now, some of you might say, well, that seems kind of minor. Well, for those people, write this down. Elephants don't bite. It's gnats that do. Okay, it's not the big things that screw up an evening. It's the little things. Think about this. Next time you're doing an outdoor barbecue, is it because mosquitoes came out that your friends went home? Or is it because someone forgot to bring ice for the beer? It's the mosquitoes, the little things. Am I right or wrong? Okay, so the difference, it's just like if you ever worked on an old car. You could turn a screw on those old carburetors 1/1000th of an inch and it would purr like 300 ponies. You turn it the other way 1/1000th of an inch and it may not start. You see, gang, the difference between 5 deals, 15 deals, 50 and 100 deals is probably that much for the majority of people. For the majority of people. So, we park across the street, we dress like $1 million, we strut to the door. When we get to the door, we ring the doorbell. We smile, we pay them a compliment. You then take them to the kitchen table. You never go anyplace else but the kitchen table. You then small talk smart, talking about anything to do about real estate until they bring it up. And once they bring it up, you know you've sold yourself enough that they'll share with you their most personal financial details. When they bring up real estate, you want to move them to something called the comfort zone. And your comfort zone dialogue would sound like this. Mr. and Mrs. Krankovich, before we begin, could I tell you how I work? The first thing I'd like to do this evening is ask you a series of questions. The reason I like to do that is make sure I don't give you any bad advice and we'll save each other a whole bunch of time. Do you mind if I start with the questions first? Say no problem.
No problem.
Great. After we go through those series of questions, I'd like to inspect your property with you. But I want to do it a little bit differently than any other realtor you may have worked with in the past. I want you to show me through as if you were the realtor and I was the buyer. This way here, you can point out features of the house that you enjoyed while you lived here, and I won't miss anything that might affect the value. Then we'll come back to the kitchen table. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Marc Leder. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Seacoast Realty, Coldwell Banker Seacoast Realty. I'd like to tell you how we earn our commission and how I get my job done. You have to agree with me, Mr. and Mrs., when I say to you that if you don't like me, my company, or our marketing plan, there would be no reason to talk price. Wouldn't you agree? See, no more free CMAs, man. Okay, free CMA and a silver dollar ain't buying you coffee at Starbucks today. Are you with me there? Give me a yeah, man. Okay? When something's given away for free, what's it worth? Nothing. What's the respect level you got? You with me? So no more free CMAs. Then after we go through that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to help you establish a price on your home. What I mean by that is this. I brought the homes that are listed for sale right now. They'd be our competition. I brought the homes that were listed for sale and sold. They'll show us market trends. I also brought the information on the homes that